Okay, so I've previously done a video on Ship of Harkinian, but recently, as I've been playing way too many hours and putting way too much time into it, I've discovered a side of it and kind of got started to get into a side and started to dabble into a side that makes it much more interesting because of what can be done, and that's the modding side of Ship of Harkinian. So Ship of Harkinian has a fair number of mods already. You can go into Game Banana and a couple other places. Even the Discord for Harbor Masters has a Ship of Harkinian a modding channel where you can post your mods and different things. And not all of the mods that show up there are on Game Banana, but you've got a fair number of them that show up here. But as you can see, you've got a fair number of mods to mess around with. And what makes it really nice is you can actually separate different instances of Ship of Harkinian based on the mods that you set up on it. So you could have one that's a completely whacked out one, a vanilla one, or even a 3DS experience mod if you really wanted to. And you'd just be able to set that up and have it as a separate thing, separated from the rest of your vanilla one and anything else. So, and downloading and installing the mods is actually pretty simple. It's basically made from the get-go to set up mods in it straight away. And look, you've even got the Ocarina of Time retexture mod as well that is still in progress. But you've even got complete overhaul mods, which I'm not going to click on because I want to explore that one in the other way that I've set it up. So one thing to note is you've got tools that lets you do stuff, but textures, this is kind of where is it? It's in here somewhere. Textures. So this is where you get a bit more flexibility with how you run it. So you're used to the default HUD of Ocarina, or maybe you can set it up so it looks more like Majora's Mask. You've got that as an option for HD, or you could set it up as if it were any number of other systems, so Xbox and PlayStation button setups. So you can have that, so you're not just stuck with the default Nintendo 64 glyphs. You can actually remap your buttons and then set them up so that they match the buttons that are on the controller itself. And so I've done that with a couple of the mod setups that I have, to include one down here for the Steam Deck controls on top of it. So you could just do a whole slew of different options and make it match whatever system you're on. And if you like playing it on Steam Deck like I do, you can have them set up with a proper Steam Deck layout. So I have a fair number of mods set up. So this is my vanilla one that I've been playing the randomizers on stream out of. And so you've got the mods folder, and all you're literally doing is dropping the files for your mods down here. So if I go through here, I've got a fair number of mods that I've downloaded, and not all of them that I have set up. So the mods range from a few different varieties. So if we go up to the 3DS one here, this is the one that I've set up with the 3DS experience here, along with all the proper objects and everything else for high definition models. So you've got DigiP's 3DS textures, and then I've installed 3DS models on top of it. So if I run Ship of Harkinian here, and right now I am using the GameCube controller to play it. So you can see that it's all high definition. Well, 3DS definition. So very, very smooth, very, very nice. So a couple things of note that I've done is it has 3-point filtering. I think, I turned it off on one of them because the faces looked all messed up. So if I go into here, I can go in, And you can see that we've got our 3DS model. It doesn't do the same thing as, the 3DS version. So if I jump off a ledge here, you're going to notice that's very, very much lacks the 3DS and feel and all. Let's see. I guess the faces look fine. So yeah, you can see the buttons are different as well on top of it. And so if I reset, I should have another save here with, adult on top of it. So yeah, you've got the HUD and everything is different and all that. And Ship of Harkinian does let you move the HUD elements around, so that's how you can match things up a little bit better. So, and of note is your saves are separated into the individual folders. So you've got the save folder that saves your file 1, 2, and 3, and it saves it as a JSON file. So if you want to go manipulate things, you can get away with doing that to manipulate your save. Now, of note, I have streamed the holiday one before. So if I go into this one. So this is the holiday mod that they did, and it includes an ornament hunt mode for the randomizer. So Link is very much different, dressed up differently, and so on. And again, the saves are different, the textures are different, and everything else. Everything's just kind of prettied up. So really, all I did was download the specific special edition for the Ornament Hunt Randomizer, and I placed the other OTR files for it inside of the mods folder. If I go back, yeah, I already showed off the 3DS one. So the other end of things are kind of the crazier ones. And in order to make this more appropriate, I've basically set this one up. As you can tell, it's kind of the Halo setup is what I've called it for this one. So I've set it up so that it has a different HUD layout than what you would expect, and I've remapped the buttons. So as you can see, it's quite a bit different. Than what you would normally get from the Ocarina of Time. See if we can get... We've got to wait for a little bit longer for it to hit the other part that gets it really good. Kind of get like a peek at what is underlying in the underlying hood of it all. See, I can't wait for Ship of Harkinian to get a little bit more, how should I say, fleshed out for the modding stuff, to where you can make the turret actually move and drink water and things like that. But we can go into our files in here, and I've moved the HUD elements all around. So you can see that I've got my buttons all lined up. If I press Y, it brings out the slingshot. I press B, pulls out the stick. Press right bumper, it brings out the bombs. And it's all good and dandy. Do I have this one? Yes, I do. So it changes the models and the equipment. So that, and the enemies. I should note that I have enemies set up in here as well. So if I go and pull this out, you can see that some of the models are quite a bit different than what you would expect. So if I hit the B... Oh, and hookshot's going to be a wee bit different too. But the bigger sword is quite a bit more unwieldy. Let me do that. Get our fast run going. So not all of the enemies got remapped, but a fair number of them did. If I run over to my favorite place, I think... If I pull out the hook shot, you can see that it's just the Halo Infinite grappling hook. Oh, and I did enable camera stick, so I can get that Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild feel to it too. So that's one purpose as to why you would remap your buttons, is to free up your right joystick for camera controls, which makes a lot of things like the Dampe race much, much nicer. So rest assured, this is probably the primo best way of playing Ocarina of Time, because you have the ability to move things around like this and just remap everything and have new controls set up for the game. So, did I have... Oh, I did have the water song. Whatever. This is the fun way of getting there anyway. And some of the crates are different. Okay, so you can see our Octorok is just a little bit different. Let's see. We've also got... See, our crows didn't change. Our Tektites didn't change. Oh, I got rid of all the Deku Scrubs here. Darn it. Well. But yeah, you can see that some of the models are different. If we went to see the Lizalfos, you'd notice that they were a bit different too, and they looked a bit more Jackal-like. But yeah. So, that would be one option. You can see that it gives you those cool options to change the HUD. And I did set up a clean UI as well. And you can see underneath the health and stuff that it does... Oh, it's not too clear. But you can... It changes the button glyphs for that as well. So if I move over here... If we wait a second, you can see it gives you the button prompts for the others. The way they do map out some of the buttons, you do have to recolor it yourself. So if you go into the Enhancements, Cosmetics editor, the HUD placement lets you mess with the placement of different things. So you've got your C button and your start button positions. So if I took the start button, I could anchor it to the right, and then do down, and move it down there. Just a little bit to the right, and then we'd be pretty good. So you can move stuff there, you can move the Navi button around and things like that. Line it up the way that you want to. It gives you a whole slew of options to mess with it, including like making the health bar a sidebar instead, so it takes up more real estate down versus the other way around. So like you can heart line length. The magic meter doesn't quite have that same ability, but yeah. Or you can anchor it to the life bar, but yeah. And then, let's see. And then to change the colors, you would have to go through and do it manually yourself, which is just as simple as clicking that and then picking the color however you do it. So that's that one implementation. So if I go through the mods that I have, I've got the Xbox Natural standard definition set up in here. So that's kind of the mod that changes the C buttons and all that to Xbox style buttons. Then you've got the Halo enemies high res, the Legend of Chief, which changes all the equipment and everything, and the high res, and then the clean menu, which is the start menu implementation. So now we get into some of the more crazy ones. So this is one that I've set up kind of as, I don't know, it's not quite a proof of concept, but kind of like we've just kind of taken some of the ridiculous stuff, and then put it together in a ridiculous way. So it's a pack of mods that I've put together, but are not pre-packaged together. If I switch my controller back. So I've got a lot of the 3DS elements installed in here, but I've switched out the Link player models. Well, one of them. So we've got a 3DS-like experience, while also having Malin as playable adult character. And then in addition to that, do I have that? If I equip the shield, I've got a Quake items mod installed. So if I reset, what the Quake items is a set of models from basically the first Quake game, or styled after the first Quake game. So you've got your Deku shield. For some reason, the 3DS models, or icons overlaid over it, but yeah. And you do have a couple other items that do overlay over it somewhat. So if I pull out the stick, that doesn't quite do it. Pulling out the bombs, you can see that that's a wee bit different. The boomerang is the same. I'm trying to remember what was different. I think that was about it for that. So yeah, 3DS does update like a lot of stuff, including the fonts. So if I go do the adults thing, oh yeah, and of note, the Kakiri sword is replaced with the hand axe. You can see the Biggoron sword is this quite nice Quakey one. Let's pick a nice safe spot. So if I pull out the hook shot, it's the same. Bow's the same. Hammer is a wee bit different, though. So yeah, not a lot changed, but yeah, mirror shield. Yeah, quite interesting. So the last mod that I have is kind of a pack that is in the overhaul section. Let me go back over this one real quick, though. So yeah, mods is Christmas Malin. I might have to switch that out to later after the 3DS stuff, but anyway. And then we've got our Quake equipment. And it does change the ice switches, so yeah. Megaton Hammer, and then the clean menu for just cleaning things up. But yeah. And now we go into this one. This is the interesting one that I found that just, I don't know how to put it. for whatever reason, the third-party assets or textures aren't auto-enabled. So, yeah. This has the feel of early modding from Half-Life and the like. You can see that our equipment is quite nice. We can put on all the good stuff. And you'll also note that it seems that I don't know if it's the item names, but the item names seem to be images themselves. So in the game assets, all the item names are tied to an individual image rather than being like text that is rendered at the bottom. So it enables a lot of interesting options to go through and do interesting things with. Let's see. I don't know what to think, but it is what it is so far. You will notice various interesting, unique things about the game. And the models. And the textures. I do not have the Kikiri sword in this one, but yeah. We do have Big Spoon, however. And then if we go over, we can use the Shieldenberg. This one really just takes me for a loop. I'm thinking of a randomizer with this mod, particularly on stream, because that seems like it would be fun, but also very, very cursed for reasons. But yeah, it's something. It is a noted thing. It is a thing of note. Yeah. The enemies are very much different, as you can see as well. And a lot of things are very different. I don't know if the textures didn't load in properly or what. No, I guess they did. Yeah, this is very like, you know those early Half-Life mods? That's what it reminds me of. You know? It just works. It just works out really, really well. Like, just so well, you know? Super well. Do I have... Useless garbage. Oh, yeah. Makes sense. It's fair. Fair. We fit right in. Just saying. Just saying. And look at this. Yeah. That's Shrek. My goodness. Bro, are you okay? I can get out. Maybe. Spud. No, this is not Deutschland. I just want to show you what a Gerudo looks like, you know. Just to make sure that it's clear. Bruh. They've done a lot of work with this one. A lot of work. Just a lot of work. More work than I think sometimes it deserves. Can you imagine playing through the game in this? Just doing a vanilla playthrough of the game with this. Like, look at that. And I didn't even show you the golden skulltulas. Okay? Like, wild, wild, wild. Shulker boxes. No, it's totally cool. I don't mind. We're gonna go to the desert just for fun. Just to see what the carpet salesman looks like. My broski. My broski. What's going on? That's Chip of Harkinian. The modding scene. It's a wild thing, like, that I found, and it's like this just makes it all worthwhile. I mean, Chip of Harkinian on its own makes it worthwhile, but the fact that you can map or match your controller glyphs to your actual controller that you're using makes it even cooler, and the fact that you can add, like, aiming to it properly, like modern controls, just makes it way cool. So you can map the buttons however you want. So, for those that may be wondering, what you're gonna do for that controller mapping is go into controller and mapping, and it's gonna be right here. and you're just going to have to manually select the controller that you're using, and then you can put in the right stick. You'll replace the C buttons, put the right stick in manually. You might have to move a couple things around, but other than that, then everything matches up. So like what I might do on like an Xbox controller is what a lot of people seem to do is put the up C button onto a right stick click. And that kind of makes sense unless you do a left stick click. Then you can set right stick click. Well, no, right stick click still works because that's how you do the first person look. And then like you go, what? C button left is Y, C button down is B, and then C button right is right bumper. Or however you want to do it. If you're on like a GameCube style controller, you can do like flip the X and the Y for obvious reasons, and then I haven't seen any mods for GameCube controllers. Switch controller would be same deal, kind of. No, not quite. It would go, yeah, maybe. But then you could make the overlay match whatever controller layout you're using anyway. So you've got a lot of options with Ship of Harkinian. You can move the HUD everywhere, and the mods are freaking wild. We just need that mouse look. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.